The Waka Tairāwhiti was created as a celebration of Māori and Polynesian sea voyaging history. A dream brought to life by Gisborne-based Waka expert Te Aturangi Nepia-Clamp. But this waka is now caught in stormy waters, with concerns about its management and upkeep. Mea nei te purongo, a John Boynton.
An iconic waka hourua, bringing traditional sea voyaging mātauranga to Te Tairāwhiti.
It began with a desire to do something in my lifetime to enhance waka voyaging.
Now the subject of a bitter dispute.
We aren't allowed on board the waka, and that hurts us.
There's enough room there for two of us.
It's really disheartening.
It was a dream that began 33 years ago with this waka prow.
So the dream was always to bring waka hourua here to Tairāwhiti.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That was a very strong dream of mine. When I was carving this, the ancestors gave me that dream and pretty much told me that's what you got to do, boy. So that's what I did.
When you look at this tauihu, what does it represent for you?
It's a powerful statement of our voyaging ancestors, what they were able to achieve, exploring, discovering and settling the largest ocean in the world.
The waka hourua, or double-hulled canoe, is at the centre of Polynesian migration.
They would travel from Aotearoa back to the Pacific, and it was just like their normal route.
Te Aturangi is a waka hourua navigator and builder.
This was their highway back to the Pacific.
In 1992, he was a crew member on the waka hourua Te Aurere. Led by the esteemed waka navigator Sir Heck Busby, they sailed from Aotearoa to Rarotonga. A voyage which reignited traditional Polynesian navigation. Then, at the dawn of the millennium, he led a waka flotilla here in Te Tairāwhiti.
We had 22 waka being sailed and paddled out of the sunrise, and that image went worldwide to 1.6 billion people.
But he could never shake the dream his ancestors first gave to him.
A desire to enhance waka voyaging.
What Aturangi has always had, really, he had the passion. And when he spoke to us about it, you could feel his passion coming through. That's why there was never any hesitation in giving him the support.
In 2011, Te Aturangi started to put together his plan to build a waka hourua for the people of Te Tairāwhiti.
It's important to remember that you can't do anything by yourself. People need each other in order to make something happen.
Together with his supporters, Te Aturangi formed the Tairāwhiti Voyaging Trust.
How much funding did you need to secure to build the waka?
Over $1 million, and we were able to achieve that with fundraising.
In 2016, the build for the 72-foot waka hourua began.
As the CEO, it was my job to deliver, really, to make sure that the waka build stayed on track.
After a year, the build was complete.
The highlight of any waka is seeing it coming down the skids, seeing it entering the water.
And in 2017, that vision came to life when the waka hourua Te Tairāwhiti first sailed into the waters of Tūranganui Akiwa.
The life of a waka begins when it's launched and it's sitting in Tangaroa and they become one.
And in no time, the waka was up and running, becoming a floating classroom for local schools.
It wasn't a matter of coming for a ride. It was a matter of getting your hands into it and pulling lines and learning how to sail the waka.
And also an award-winning tourism venture.
You've got huge trees, 30 people holding hands around a tree, and then you've got chickens at 9 foot high. You can feed a whole village.
That tourism offering that we developed achieved gold qualmark status, the first and only gold qualmark that has been awarded to a Gisborne tourism offering. We had volunteers that were coming every weekend, happy to do the maintenance, become part of a voyaging family.
Today we're meeting with some of the kaumātua who've become a part of his voyaging whānau.
I went for a ride and that was the ride of my life.
There were some gang members down on the wharf and they were looking over the fence and asking us about the waka, and Te Atu says, haramai, and brought them on board, and they were just overwhelmed with the stories of how our tipuna had sailed here.
But memories are all they have for now.
There's a saying about sailors, when you get salt in your veins, you really need to be on the ocean.
They haven't been able to set foot on the waka for 3 years. In 2020, Te Aturangi no longer had confidence in the Tairāwhiti Voyaging Trust.
I disagreed with the way that the trust was being operated, just with a very narrow focus on school education. It's for all people of the Tairāwhiti who are interested in this kaupapa.
He stepped down from his role as chief executive.
Te Aturangi says since he left the trust, he hardly ever sees Te Tairāwhiti out on the water. Instead, it spends most of its time sitting in a marina.
There's a whole lot of people that are waiting for the opportunity to get on the waka.
Te Aturangi, along with former crew members and kaumātua, set up another trust, the Waka Voyaging Trust. Although they have no rights in the waka hourua, they hoped to work together with the Tairāwhiti Voyaging Trust, who still retain full ownership.
We've asked for board-to-board meetings for 2.5 years now to collaborate, to share our skills, knowledge and resources.
But Te Aturangi says all requests to meet have been ignored.
Koe rā te tikanga o te Māori, canoe ki te canoe, whakatakato ngā āwangawanga I runga tēpū, ana, me kōrero, tahi tātou. Every month for 2.5 years, I've hosted this kōrero, and enough is enough as far as I'm concerned.
People in the community just can't believe it. They can't believe that a Māori crew aren't allowed on a Māori waka.
Ko Sierra Nevadas, tōku maunga.
Since Te Aturangi left, there's been a number of overseas skippers on the waka.
It was being operated by a Spanish skipper. Tairāwhiti Voyaging Trust have passed over 3 or 4 Māori skippers that we have available. This is a Māori kaupapa. Some have said to me, well, maybe it's a modern-day version of colonisation. I don't know, is it? I can see, just from here, I can see different parts of the waka that need maintenance.
Today, Te Aturangi and his former crew are visiting Tairāwhiti at its berth at Gisborne Marina.
You know, it breaks your heart to see a waka that we've really spent a lot of time and energy and wairua just being neglected like this. So you can see the mast needs sanding and varnishing.
Te Aturangi says they've volunteered to maintain the waka for free.
You can see various parts of the waka that clearly are standing out as being damaged and weather beaten and not maintained. It's shameful. We've put so much love into our waka.
The Waka Voyaging Trust has sought legal advice to gain access to the waka.
And we didn't want to, but what do you do with people that won't talk to you?
Does it feel disrespectful?
To our waka, yes, most definitely.
We've sought an interview with the Tairāwhiti Voyaging Trust in response to the concerns raised by Te Aturangi and the Waka Voyaging Trust. However, they've declined to be interviewed, nor have they provided any statement to us. In response to a legal claim made by the Waka Voyaging Trust, they say as a community-funded organisation, they are aware of its responsibility to use funds to benefit the community as directly as possible. Its trustees are confident they are acting within the legal and moral obligations of its stakeholders.
A lengthy court battle could be on the cards.
If Tairāwhiti Voyaging Trust are viewing this, meet with us, please. Let's come up with a plan to get our waka haurua kaupapa back online.
A waka which came to life from the dreams of his ancestors.
It's about the kaupapa, which is bigger than all of us, and we have to keep that in mind. This was started with our ancestors. We're simply just carrying it on.
And our thanks to Norm Heke Productions for the use of their documentary footage in John Boynton's story.